Share this article. San Diego coach Paul Greer chairs the SDSU Reinstatement Committee for Men's Track and Field. Photo by Ken Stone. Last week, 1976 Olympic long jump champion Arnie Robinson was profiled in the San Diego Union-Tribune, how the San Diego State great survived a horrific car crash and brain tumor. Not mentioned, the Aztecs in 1992 axed the men's track and field team that produced Robinson and fellow gold medalist Willie Steele, who won the 1948 Olympic long jump title in London. Now efforts are underway to revive men's track on Montezuma Mesa. Only women run track now on the sports deck topping a campus parking garage. San Diego State alumnus Paul Greer, school record holder in the 1,500 meters who went on to run a sub-4-minute mile in 1989, is leading what he calls the SDSU Reinstatement Committee. Google Doc charts interest and support of men's track at SDSU. Greer is hoping to replicate the success of San Jose State University, which restored its fabled men's track team this year after a 32-year absence. He's reaching out to alumni, former coaches and others in the sport, gauging their interest and willingness to pony up money to underwrite a program for a few years. He points people to a Google Doc query form. The longtime educator and San Diego track club coach is backed by a who's who of SDSU track, including All-American Renee Ross, financier Matt Large, Rich Kritzer, Dixon Farmer, SDSU men's coach 1982-88, Jim Cerveni, 1988-1992, famed coach Bob Larson, who competed for SDSU in the 1960s, and two-time Olympian Sheila Burrell, current SDSU women's track coach. I'm going to go to SDSU officials and say, look, here's what we have. We have this support. It's going to be for men's track and field program, so you cannot ignore that because the community has spoken, Greer said. He said his group had a very productive meeting last spring with football coach Rocky Long. Greer also met with assistant athletic director Steve Schnall and received great feedback from him, especially with respect to Title IX issues. Still ahead are meetings with athletic director John Wicker, when Greer plans to share results of the survey. We contacted former San Jose State coach Jeff Petersmeyer, who shared with us on how San Jose State reinstated their men's program, and if they did it then we can do it too, Greer said. Greer said San Jose State, which won an NCAA track title a year after its star sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos made the iconic Black Power salutes at the 1968 Mexico City Games, has similar student demographics as SDSU, and they have a football team, too. Title IX made it difficult to bring their program back, Greer said of the federal law that bans sex discrimination in education and mandates equal treatment of men's and women's sports. Greer is seeking pledges of hundreds of thousands of dollars, including enough money to field the team its first year, $125,000 for a men's head coach and travel budget. The second year, SDSU would bear 25% of costs and the third year 50%, under one scenario. We would propose a phase-out program whereby the first year our community would provide full funding for the men's track and field program, Greer said this week. The second year we would provide everything but salaries and expect SDSU to cover that expense. The third year, donors would provide equipment expenses, but SDSU would cover salaries and travel, he said. And the fourth year SDSU would cover everything and fully reinstate the men's program. The community can support it to some extent until SDSU is ready to take it over, within 3 or 4 years, he said. That's fair. We're not going to take people's good money for SDSU to cancel it. It's a two-way street. The reinstatement team notes that San Diego State's men's track program dates to 1922, and its first coach, Charles E. Pete Peterson, is the namesake of Peterson Gym on campus. Over the years, the men's program drew heavily on the local hotbed of San Diego high school track and field talent, which still exists today, says a mission statement. And many coaches on the local level are SDSU alumni. More than 100 coaches who once competed for SDSU are being targeted for support. We believe and hope you agree that having a track and field program would help your recruiting. That would benefit the SDSU football program, a pitch says. It notes that many collegiate programs offer scholarships to dual sport athletes. San Jose State offers 5 or 6 scholarships to football players who also compete in track, Greer's team says. Greer's group is confident at least 15 to 20 athletes can be recruited as walk-ons for SDSU men's track. Aztec football players would add numbers. What's amazing is that when you look at who has been and is coaching track at the local universities, junior colleges, high schools and clubs, it is male, and now female, alumni from the San Diego State program, a statement says. The program truly gives back, in kind, to community. Drive aims to raise SDSU men's track and field program from the dead was last modified, October 11, 2018 by Ken Stone. Greater than subscribe to Times of San Diego's free daily email newsletter. Click here to follow us.